Hey guys, it is November and we are going to have a pick a card reading based on gratitude and the energies coming in and out of your life in the upcoming month. So grab your tarot journals and let's jump into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't met me yet, I am Leesa. I'm a certified tarot consultant whose goal is to help you leverage the power of the tarot to gain insights into yourself and navigate your life. And today we are doing a reading for the month of November moving forward. So on this channel, guys, I do tarot meditations, I do pick a card readings and tarotscope readings. So if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button so that you can be here for next month's reading, as well as jump into some of those other goodies as they come out. So today, guys, I wanted to go ahead and take a look at the upcoming month of November and not only look at the energies moving in and out of our spheres during this time, but also take a little bit of time to focus on the idea of gratitude. And so for me, here in the United States, November always is very kind of surrounding the idea of gratitude. We're coming off of Halloween and heading into the kind of later winter solstice season, and we have Thanksgiving here in America, and it always makes me think about that concept of gratitude and, reflection, especially as we're heading into the dark time of the year. So if you are new to pick a card readings, take a couple of seconds here just to kind of slow your breathing. You're going to need to tap into your intuition here in just a quick minute. We are going to start with a quick oracle reading where you're going to pick your card from that. And then I have 3 decks here that I'm actually going to be doing the tarot reading with before moving to an oracle reading at the end. And I'm sure you guys will see I have the Halloween tarot here. I know we're reading for November, but I just couldn't pass that up. Absolutely had to use it. Okay, so take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out and get to a place where you feel intuitively tuned in. And I have 3 objects for you today. The first object is just this little pumpkin. Not a real pumpkin, a fake pumpkin, but that's okay. I'll put that right here. The second object that I have is this little wooden, this decorative piece here that says thankful. And the third is this beautiful feather that I found. I'm not even sure where it came from anymore. Okay, so once again, breathe in and out. And I want you to look at these objects and these cards and decide which one of these is speaking to you today. That's going to be your reading. Okay, so now that you've chosen that, go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you're excited to move ahead, and I will put the timestamps for each of these down below. Go ahead and move to the pile that is yours, but I'm going to start actually with the pumpkin. So we're going to start there and then move forward. So I'll meet you at that part of the video. Okay, so for those of you that chose our cute little pumpkin here, let's see what is in store for you. And I'm using the Moonology Oracle cards here. I'm sure you may be familiar with those. Okay, so the very first message just overall is this concept and the energy behind a gibbous moon. And that gibbous moon, guys, is when you have a moon that's almost full. It's going to full, but it's not quite there. And the message here is you're very close to achieving your goal, which is just a great message and a great way to start this particular reading. So we are going to just go through some tarot cards. I'm going to try to go fairly speedy so that we can get through this in a reasonable amount of time. So guys, remember that this is a collective reading. There's going to be some things that resonate with you a bit more than others. If you are looking for a one-on-one reading and have something really specific, feel free, of course, to reach out to me. I have my link below for my Facebook business page, and you can grab me there. But let's start first just by looking at some of the energies that are surrounding us right now, some of those coming from last month. I also want to just jump right into that idea of gratitude and see what in our past we might need to, really look at that might be something to revisit in regards to the concept of gratitude and what we should be thankful for. All right, so moving into November. Okay, Two of Pentacles. What a busy season. This is going to be just a very busy season internally for you, where you're going to feel like, wow, there is a lot going on. There's a lot that I have to manage. I love in this card because you can see there's this dog here that's kind of bringing some relief, like, hey, I have something for you. Just, pay attention long enough to come and grab this thing. I also see kind of externally some of those energies coming at you from outside of your own mental and bodily state, right? I'm seeing the Hierophant reversed. And when we see the Hierophant reversed, it of course can mean a few things, but I see a lot with this concept of kind of breaking the mold and going against the traditional. So that's really interesting. What does that mean for you? I mean, we're going into November, so what types of things have you typically done in a November that if you're in the US, you might have Thanksgiving, or there might be other holidays that you're ramping up for, but I'm seeing a break from the traditional and a lot of having to sort of balance things and figure out how that's going to work for you. So keep that in mind. It's not unmanageable. Okay, if the two was flipped, I'd be a bit more concerned, but not the case. Okay, this person definitely is able to kind of keep those balls up in the air, so that's excellent. Last month, if we look at the month of October, kind of moving into November, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and I absolutely love the Queen of Pentacles energy. She's someone that is nurturing and comforting, and also has that idea of kind of reassessing what is there. And in this sense, when we look at the Pentacle suit, it's a lot about seeing, what you have in terms of home and hearth and your physical material things. So, it could be money, it could be your work and kind of what is bringing in money, it could be your family or those things you have at home. But there's definitely that reassessing type of energy that is pulling from October into November, and it's something that is definitely, it's not a bad thing, okay? So I don't want you to think that you need to leave that behind. In fact, that's a great energy to bring forward. Now, taking a look at our past, or even our deeper past, what is something that we might need to spend a little bit more time on in regards to giving thanks to, bringing something up, reminding ourselves that it is there. And we have the Eight of Wands. And most of the Eight of Wands cards, guys, there's nothing but the wands in there. And this one has this little caped bird, which I just think is funny. So you can see him there. But Eight of Wands card. Okay, so right now, guys, I'm seeing this actually as a network. A network, I'm thinking for many of you, this is going to be a network of professionals or people that you work with, okay? For some of you, it could be a support system, all right? But what I'm really getting now is very heavy kind of networking type of vibes, and being able to connect with people on a work level or a professional level. And there is a reminder here to kind of step back and take a look at what is there, and what have you not paid attention to that is in your past, or that has reflected into today, that you might need to give a bit more gratitude. Maybe you need to reach out to some people, say thank you. Maybe you need to reciprocate. But I know a lot of times networks and networking can pave the way for you to, or for us to land a new position, or meet new people, or find new opportunities. So what is there in the past that maybe you need to go ahead and spend a little bit more time with? Okay. So let's take a look at what opportunity is kind of coming your way. What thing is going to come your direction that you can be really thankful for. And then we're also going to put the long-term outcome here, but I'm going to wait on that until we get closer to the end. So biggest opportunity for you this month. And we have the 10 of bats. the Ten of Bats. It's very similar to the concept of the Ten of Swords in a less fun deck, I guess. So if we take a look at the Ten of Swords, guys, what does that mean in terms of your greatest opportunity? When the Ten of Swords, or bats in this case, comes around, it is that idea of getting to the end of something, having something being done and finished and ready to move past. So what do you have right now that you probably know it's done? You probably know it's close to done. This is likely an idea or an initiative or something you were really hoping to see come to fruition, but is just not working. There is something there that it is ready to be gone, gone, and you know that. And this is kind of the month to sort of bury that and put that behind. So look for opportunities to be able to kind of gracefully step away from that thing. What can you be? Oh, I love this. Okay, what opportunities are coming towards you that you can be really grateful for or thankful for? And we get the Fool. And this is just great because it's telling me in regards to opportunities that they're almost limitless. The Fool is this idea of stepping out into the unknown and not knowing what you're going to see, not knowing what you're going to find, but knowing there's a lot of awesome stuff out there for you. And I would say walk into this month with that idea and that sense of wonder and seeing what can I do for myself, create for myself and those that I love. What opportunities are out there for me that I can really grab onto? This is a great card, and your opportunities to be able to grab something that you're going to absolutely love later is very strong. So that is a fantastic card to see. Now, let's go back to some of those energies. I want to see what needs to be potentially pushed away or warded against, guarded against. Okay, never like to give, it's not that I want to harp on the negative, but I think it's important that if there is something coming, you can step out of the way of it, right? So what can we move away from? What do some of our closest people have in store for us, and what can we pull towards us? By the way, guys, for one of the positions, we're going to look at people close to you. So I want you to pull in your head right now five people that you're really close with or spend a lot of time with. Just think about those 5 people as I'm shuffling here. About 5 people, those people that are very close to you. Okay, so let's start with those people first. Let's begin with that card. Okay, so when we look at those 5 people that you have in your life, and these cards are so dark, I have to remember that. We actually have Death reversed, and this is the Black Cat's Tarot, guys. But here we go, put that up so you can see that a bit more. When I see Death reversed, I'm seeing something that is kind of stuck in a cycle that really needs to be cut loose and sort of move forward. And oftentimes it's really, really personal when we're looking at the Death card. What I find interesting is that this right here, we had the Ten of Bats show up, and I said, hey, something needs to be moved past in this month. It's time to do that. And then I pull another card that says someone in your circle is basically going to try to keep you from moving on past something. So, that doesn't have to be malicious. It could just be them saying, oh, are you sure? Is it really time? Or maybe maybe this is a hard decision to move past this, and they're trying to, protect you in some way. But just be aware that, if this is the energy that's coming your way in terms of moving past something, having someone try to hold you back on that is not necessarily really helpful, no matter what their intent is. So keep that in mind. Okay. Something you want to make sure that you are pushing away. All right. So we have the Star reversed, okay? And I really strongly have 2 things here. 2 different energies all revolving around this card, and it's going to depend on who you are since this is a collective reading. So number 1, and let me turn this up right just so you can see it briefly here. This way. Okay, so for some of you have a habit of not being very hopeful when it comes to things. This is telling me, so for some of you, it's this idea of having hope and pulling the idea of hope towards you. You need to push this concept of hopelessness away. Okay, so for some of you, if you know that you have some of those negative thought patterns, this is very specifically saying, hey, cut it out. Okay, try to walk away from that, try to set that aside. Okay, for others of you, one of the great things about the star is that, you know, this is this person kind of doing things on their own, but it's not just on their own, they're getting support from all over the place, especially spiritual support or divine support. When it's this way, it is cut off from that. So for some of you, the message is not necessarily about, you know, self-doubt, but it's more about that idea of listening to the universe, your guides, your spirituality, whatever that is, because there's something there that is, you are going to kind of move away from that, and you need to tap into that this month. All right. What to pull towards you. Okay, we have the 5 of coins reversed, and once again, it's so dark. I'm gonna have to remember that when I reach for these cards and these videos. Okay, so we have these 2 kitties down there. All right, but it is reversed, which is great because 5 of coins reversed, guys, is a lot more about, and the energy that we're pulling towards ourselves this month, that you should pull towards yourself this month, is this idea of belonging. This idea of being able to step into a group and get support, especially financial support when that is needed. It's also that energy of feeling that wealth and riches and money is sort of flowing your direction versus away. And so this could be money specifically, or it could be riches in regards to things that you have just in your life, things that are more tangible. Okay, so and I do have this one card here, but let me just take a look. I do like this very practical energy kind of pulling through last month and this month. I think that's great. I think there's definitely some endings here, but lots of really good, exciting things there, especially with the fact that you're, you know, with the Hierophant reverse and me saying, hey, things are going to be a little unconventional. Run into it with the Fool's energy. That's a lot of fun. Now, how we're going to see this, how you will see this month, you know, when you kind of look back on it in retrospect. Oh, the 8 of Imps. Wow. Guess what, guys? That is basically the same card as this. And that is so fun. So you get the 8 of Wands twice. And when you go back and look at this month, guys, I'm going to see that you have, there's just going to be a lot of activity. And look, I'm seeing it here too, right? A lot of activity, a lot of action, being able to manage it, but it is definitely there. Lots of activity, lots of potentially, excuse me, hanging out, networking, partying with other people. I see that as well. But it's going to be a very busy month for you, and sometimes a little unruly, sometimes, you know, a little difficult as you're trying to sort of figure out what needs to be moved out of your life. But in general, I think it's an exciting month. And don't forget, guys, we had this gibbous moon energy in the beginning, that idea of moving closer to something, having that goal there. And then we have the one last card I want to go ahead and pull. That's going to be at the end of the video. So go ahead and just slide to that, and I will see you there. All right, let's move on to those of you that chose this fun, thankful word decoration. I don't know what to call this thing, but let us see what you get. This is the general, just first message, general energy that we're going to see this month for you. You have the cardinal energy. That is that concept, guys, of coming off the new moon and moving right into when we can first start, you know, seeing the moon in the sky. And it's about being bold, making the first move, moving ahead with excitement and energy. And that's a fantastic way, I think, to move into November. So love to see that. All right. So let's, let me, while I'm going ahead and shuffling the cards here, let me just go ahead and give you just some insights on what we're going to be looking at here. We will do a reading here with tarot. I've got 3 different decks, and then we're going to move to an oracle reading at the end. I'm going to try to go somewhat quickly for you guys so it doesn't take too much time. Remember, if you have something that is a very specific question, this is a collective reading, guys. So your best move, if you have something really specific, is just to reach out to me through my Facebook business page and set up a reading, a personal one-on-one reading. But we're going to take some time here, guys. We're going to look at the energies that are kind of surrounding you in the month of November and what you can look forward to, that you will be grateful for and thankful for, and what you should have seen from before or pay more attention to that is definitely worth being thankful for in the past. So let's go ahead and start with those energies in you and surrounding you during the month of November. Okay, so the Fool actually showed up in the reading just before this, and that's so fun. So the energy surrounding you guys is the energy of the Fool. And not to say that you are a fool. In fact, the Fool energy is so fun because the Fool energy is this idea of, you can see kind of him being ready to take a leap of faith, being ready to kind of jump into the unknown and see what is there. So that is an energy that is going to be around you and able for you to tap into this month. Something you are definitely going to want to look at. Now that is going to be surrounded or is going to be influenced by the energy surrounding you. And we have the Four of Wands. What a fantastic start to your reading, and what a great energy or set of energies for you to have in November. So not only are you going to have this feeling like anything's possible, or that idea of you're ready for anything or ready to take on anything, but you also have this strong foundation and feeling really good about where you are in terms of success or celebration or things along those lines. So what a great start to the November. I absolutely love that. Coming into November from October, let's see what's there. And we have the Two of Swords. So what this is telling me, guys, is that coming from October and into November, there may have been some stalemates or some roadblocks that kind of pushed all the way through October. And, whether or not those will continue on into November, I mean, even if they do, it looks like you might be in a better place to manage those. But those roadblocks, those things that were perhaps stopping you or holding you back from something that you were working towards, they're not necessarily going to disappear. They're going to continue, but the question is, how are you going to manage those and work with those? So keep that in mind. Find a way to kind of move past those things. Oftentimes the swords deal with thoughts and things more of a kind of logical nature. So keep that in your head as you're trying to think about what that might pertain to. Now, looking at your deeper past and something that is having some bearing on things that you need to be thankful for, and I'm pulling up the Moon. Interesting. and I'm so sorry because I got a really strong, I don't know if this is one or many of you, but some of you need to be really thankful that secrets that were in the past are staying in the past. There are things that you would rather not have people know, and those things are still kind of buried and hidden and not coming up. And if that is you, this is just kind of reminding you, saying, hey, this is an energy that's kind of bubbling up to the surface. Keep that in mind, because if there's something you're trying to either keep hidden or whatnot, you need to decide, like, if this comes to a head, what's going to happen? Because, there is a possibility that might come up. For others of you, I'm actually seeing, that was just kind of funny. It was so just right there. For others, I'm getting more, and I don't always see intuition with this card, but for others of you, it's more of a being thankful that you knew the right path to take, or were able to follow your intuition about something in the past, and just in general having that intuition that you could hold on to and lean into. So if that is you and you have that intuition, you've always felt good about following or trusting your gut, I would say keep that in mind. Be thankful for that and look and see how that might better serve you as we move into this next month. Okay. Let's see. So now I'm going to look for your number one opportunity. What is coming down the pike that could be really helpful for you? also, these are more future-oriented cards. So let's see what we get. So number one opportunity, could miss it, maybe not miss it. All right, Page of Ghosts. I love the Halloween tarot. It's so whimsical. It's so fun. Okay, so do you guys see there's a little, I'm trying to do this. There is an envelope down at the bottom. Do you see that? Okay, eyes drawn to that so fast, so close. There is some sort of message. It doesn't have to be an email or a letter or a person actually speaking to you, but there is a message that will be coming your way regarding either a very creative pursuit or some sort of relationship. And this relationship or this creative pursuit will have strong implications if you grasp it moving forward. I would suggest that you keep an eye out for something this month, because that's saying this is your greatest opportunity. So what's coming your way in regards to relationships or kind of a passion project that could be there for you, look for that, because you could be getting a message and that's going to play really big sort of moving forward. All right, so one energy coming your way, something coming your way that you will be thankful for, should be thankful for in the future. Oh my gosh, and you're kind of getting the stink eye a little bit here. This is hilarious. 10 of Imps, which in this deck relates to the 10 of Wands. And so it's something to be thankful for. Guys, this is a very busy card, and you can see he's got so much that he's carrying. He's dropping one of these little imps, right? They're hitting the ground. So what I'm seeing for you is this. You know, sometimes when it comes to being busy or having a lot on our plate or having a lot that we're trying to manage, that can be really difficult. And then later, once we get through it and we reap the benefits from it and the rewards from it, we say, wow, I was so busy, but I got so much done or so much good came out of it. That's what I'm seeing for you with this card is, yeah, there's going to be a lot of, potential weight on you this month, especially if you have a regular job. It could be job focused. It could be something related to your own personal goals, but that could be something that, it might be heavy on you this month, but then later you look back and say, okay, no, all my hard work paid off. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this card, is that idea of all my hard work paid off. So that is something really to look forward to. And when it does happen, make sure you say thank you to yourself, the universe, other people, whomever is there, and give thanks for that. Now, I want to look at some of the energies to kind of push away from you and pull closer to you. I'm also going to look at some other people. So think about right now 5 people in your life that you spend the most time with. Okay, the 5 closest people to you. All right. Okay, so those 5 people. Wow. Guys, 2 of Swords again. What is going on with that? All right, so who is involved with this energy from last month? Because that person is going to play a huge part in your November, for better or for worse, okay? So I don't know who that person was last month that was so involved in whatever this indecisiveness was, or this blockage, whatever that is, they are still here. You can see them in this one actually blocking, okay? Who is that? That person, whether they think they're helping you or not, I mean, there's definitely something cutting you off from moving ahead. And so the question is going to be, who is that, and are you able to kind of move forward? All right, an energy to push away, guys. So this is something that's not overly helpful. Want to make sure that we are stepping aside from things that could be potentially frustrating for us, if at all possible. Okay, so we have the 10 of Swords. Okay, so 10 of Swords, guys, when we see this card, and this is such an interesting version of this card in this deck. This is the Black Cat's Tarot. And once again, you can see here, you're almost looking at blockages and walls again, but also a time to kind of move and step away and walk away. The 10 of Swords can be a really difficult card. So the energy that I'm seeing here, guys, is that of walking away or getting to the end of your rope on something and feeling like you need to move on. This is in the space where it's saying, watch out for that. Don't pull that towards you. Avoid this energy, push this energy away. So if there's something that you've been doing or trying to do and you're ready to just throw in the towel and walk away from it, it's saying this might not be that time, that it might be good to stick with that. Okay. And the thing that wow, I'm so weird because I'm getting duplicate cards between this reading and the last one, and it's really interesting. So the card to embrace for you guys is the concept of death, which is not literal death in this sense, but more that idea of transitioning and moving on to something else. This time of the year too, with November, in November for those of us in the northern hemisphere, is all about the seasons changing and moving into the dark side of the year, dark time of the year. So what can you do to kind of move things aside, embrace change, and embrace moving forward? And this might also be, related to this too. I love this concept of going forward with this fool's attitude. That's great. Last card in terms of tarot, how are you going to look at this back, a few months from now when you look back at November? What's going to be sort of your recollection here? Wow. Okay, so we have another card dealing with change, which is great. And this one too, honestly, there's a lot of things here dealing with kind of closing the book on something or making changes. So the card that we get here, and I love this. This is the Tower. It's reversed, but I want to put it upright because it's hilarious because it's the Halloween tarot, but it's this haunted house. I just think it's so much fun. Okay, so when you look back, guys, November is going to be a time for rebuilding, for basically busting away everything that hasn't worked for you and being able to lay a new foundation down, being able to move forward with something new. And I think there's a lot of potential pieces here, guys, that I think are showing a shift or a change, but it's also that idea of going into it with sort of that anything can go attitude. And also it's kind of a celebratory month. So here's what I would say for you in general in regards to these cards. There is an opportunity to kind of remove blockages, to move forward with projects, to make some changes, to look out for messages. You need to have a very open mind while you're doing so. And I would also tell you that anytime you have opportunity for change, there's also an opportunity for things to remain stagnant. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of things that could be there for you. So I have one last card for you, but I'm going to have it at the end of the video. So if you just move forward to the timestamp for the Oracle card, we'll pull it there and I'll see you then. Okay, so those of you that chose this feather, this is your reading. So let's start first with some info on some of the general energies to grab. And we have the new moon in Scorpio, guys. So Scorpio is the sign is all about kind of taking a deep dive and really being introspective with your own emotions and really investigating things. So this idea of working through your fears, take a look at things really at a very emotional level. Look at yourself kind of inside and see what might be there that you might be able to work through. Okay, that's sort of what I'm seeing for the month of November. So what type of introspection, can you bring to the table? What type of fears can you move through? All right. So let me just give you a quick rundown and then we will get started. So I'll let you know kind of what I'm doing while I'm shuffling. So we will take a look at a tarot reading with 3 different decks and then we'll have a final pull at the end. But I want to take a look, guys, at the energies that are sort of surrounding you, as well as looking at some things that we need to be more thankful for that maybe we've forgotten about or haven't paid attention to, and things that we will be thankful for and can be thankful for in the upcoming month. Okay. So, and I've had some really interesting correlations with the first 2 groups, so it'll be interesting to see if we start seeing some of those same cards again, because sometimes that happens in a month reading. So let's start first with the energies around yourself. Okay, so we have the 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords, guys, if you take a look, okay, you can see she's sitting here. It could be a man or a woman. I think it's a woman here. It does not matter. But she's sitting here with kind of her hands over her eyes, and there's a bit of kind of a grieving going on here. It's almost like there's some fallen comrades or whatnot. 9 of Swords is actually, it's a lot about fears or nightmares or grieving or trying to move past something or feeling like you're so close but just not getting there. that's what this energy is all about, which is interesting because we have that coming off of this card. At the same time, the kind of the external energies coming your direction. Oh, world reversed. So guys, these are not, I'm not going to lie, these are not fun cards. It seems like November, there's going to be either one incident or just a general concept of this idea of you feeling like not really where you need to be. And some of that's going to be coming in from external sources, and some of that's going to be sort of brewing under the surface internally. So that can be kind of difficult. Want you to know that right up front though, because if you know what's coming, you can perhaps take steps to mitigate it or avoid it altogether. Let's look at October moving into November. All right, so we have the Emperor, but he is reversed. So the energy coming from the month of October, I almost see someone who is someone of influence or a large organization of influence that is, in your mind, not doing things the way that they should be. Corruptness or just mismanagement in some way or another. And that, whatever that is coming from October, is going to continue kind of moving into November. And so that could be something at work, at home. It could be something with the larger social structure, which I'm seeing for a number of you. It could be anything at all where you're looking at someone who's got some control or some influence and you're feeling like they're just not doing things correctly. That issue is bothersome to you and is going to continue into November for you, at least for part of it. All right, so let's look at something that you have deep in your past that you want to make sure that you are being grateful for or showing thanks for, or remembering, because sometimes we forget things. Okay, Page of Cups, but reversed. So a few reversals here already. That's okay, guys. So Page of Cups, but reversed. There is, the Cups cards can be so wonderful, guys. They're all about this idea of emotions and friendships and that type of thing. So I have two different messages. For some of you, you have a relationship that you've held that it's been around for a while. You feel strongly about this relationship, and it has matured away from this kind of early stages sort of Page of Cups kind of attitude. And for those of you that are in this situation where you have a more mature relationship than you did have before, make sure that you're saying thank you to that person or to whomever in regards to, for the person, if this is you and this is resonating with you, then you know exactly who I'm talking about right now. Okay, everyone has relationships that have moved forward. Okay, but for some of you, there's one in particular that you just know, like, yes, this is for me. Okay. The rest of you, I want you to take a look at some of the relationships that you've had in the past that have gone south or gone sour, that at the time you were really bummed about it, but it's actually for the better. And remember that and be thankful for that. Be thankful for your own judgment or for the whims of fate that kind of tore you and that person apart. And take some time to kind of self-reflect and say, hey, in the end, this is something that was really the best for me. And think about how you can take some of those lessons and kind of incorporate them forward. All right, so let's take a look a little bit more at some future stuff, kind of what's coming down the pike. And I'm using the Halloween tarot, guys. I could not get away from it, even though I know that we are in November. Okay, so let's take a look first at something that is going to be your biggest opportunity this month, something coming your way that you are going to want to seize and take control of and grab onto. Okay, so we have the Page of Imps, which is like the Page of Wands, but reversed. And this is interesting, guys, because I'm seeing here an opportunity that could come your way, especially in regards to work, or if you have like a passion project that you're working with. Something's going to come your way and you're going to look at it, and initially you might think that it's still, it's not ready to move on yet. Okay, it's too much in the infant stages of planning for you to say that this makes any sense. Or it might just come out of left field and it's something that you haven't even thought about yet, but it's saying that you need to actually act on that thing. So even if you don't think it's quite time, even if you think that this thing isn't quite ready to move on, like it needs more work, that's okay. Get there at the beginning. Help it come to fruition, because there is something that's going to come your way that's going to be an opportunity. It's just going to seem a little cockeyed, but I think it's actually going to be a really good chance and a good opportunity for you. All right, looking at things that you need to be thankful for as they happen this month. Oh, Six of Ghosts. This is so fun. All right. So this, and I love this because for me, I'm going into Thanksgiving, towards the end of this month here in the United States. And the Six of Ghosts has a lot about feeling really comfortable in a space with the people that are surrounding you. And so that is something that you need to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Thanksgiving, but it has those vibes for me. And so the thing that you need to remember to be thankful for is those connections that you have. Who are those people, as opposed to this, who are those people that you have that make you feel at home, that make you feel comfortable in your own skin, or at their house, or in your house, or wherever? If you haven't said thank you or taken time just to stop and think thank you recently, then you need to do that and just remind yourself of how lucky you are in those areas, because the Six of Ghosts is reminding you to take a look at those people that you do have around you that are helpful for you as a person and fulfill you emotionally, okay, in terms of friendship. So speaking of those people, I want you right now, because I have a spot for this here, think of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, or that are the most, the closest to you, or the first 5 people that you spend a lot of time with that come to mind right now, because we're going to take a look at that here. Okay. So, before we get there, I want to look at the energies you need to push away and pull towards you. And the push away thing is oftentimes something that it's a little bit negative, right? It's something coming towards you that you need to get out of the picture. So it's not that I want to harp on the negative pieces, guys. I just want to make sure that you are ready for whatever's coming your direction so that you can take action to mitigate it or whatnot. Okay, so we have the Ace of Coins. All right, so the Ace of Coins is typically a pretty good card, guys. It talks about wonderful opportunities and things coming your way. And so here's the funny thing, is it's saying here, you need to push away. Here's what I'm seeing. Okay, so I just told you one of your greatest opportunities that's gonna come your way is something that either you weren't thinking about or that you feel is not quite ready to move, okay, not quite ready to be there. I'm getting this huge sense here that you are going to get something coming your direction this month that is like too good to be true, where you look at it and you're like, that's amazing. And then later on, if you were to act on it, you would find out that you've gotten yourself into a world of trouble. So if things look too good to be true, they probably are. So avoid that stuff. What you want to pull towards you, interesting, I got the Tower card before with the second group. The Tower card, guys, and I know these are dark, but I'm hoping you can see this. Okay, this is the Black Cat's Tarot, so I love this deck, but it is a little dark. Okay, the Tower card, guys, when you have the Tower card in it, I'm saying to you, embrace Tower energy. Lordy, okay, that's going to mean that you are in a space where you are looking at things introspectively and are able to say, this serves me, this doesn't, let's get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve me, let's be ready to make a move. When I see the Tower card, though, in terms of change, it's oftentimes things that are more systemic or things that are bigger outside of you. It's not just necessarily internal. So instead of internal changes, it's oftentimes things like making a move or switching a job, or like really breaks that people could see from the outside, not just internally. So be ready to embrace that. Be ready to embrace change. Okay, and these two, honestly, I see these two together. Now, let's see the energy coming from some of those people that are surrounding you. Okay, so we get the Knight of Swords. You've got someone in your corner. You have someone who's willing to fight for you, who's willing to stand up when you have crazy ideas. That person is going to be really important for you this month, especially if you're trying to make changes and make decisions. You have someone that has your best interest in mind, okay? This is not necessarily, when I look at things, this is not necessarily going to be the easiest month. There's some internal confusion or concern, but there are opportunities here, guys. Look at these opportunities for change, to make changes in things, the people that you have around you that are supportive. I think a lot of this is coming from kind of a cruddy October, whatever that was. But remember that you are with the people that you were meant to be with, okay? However that came through for you with this card. Be looking for people that are genuine. And when you look back at this month, in a few months, Three of Imps. Wow. Okay. This is the month for laying foundations, guys. The Tower is a lot about laying foundations. This is the month you're going to look back on it. You're going to say, okay, I didn't always have everything together all the time, and I wasn't always sure if everything would work out, but I feel really good. I got a lot of things in motion that needed to be getting in motion, and I know that the seeds that I planted in November are going to come through for me as I move ahead. So that's fantastic. Guys, we're going to be moving to the last pull. I'm going to clear the table though first, so you can stick around or go ahead and skip ahead just a bit. I'll put the timestamp for the final pull down below. So one last card to pull for you guys this month, and I am using the Earth Magic Oracle deck here. So just going to get one last pull for us. And if you have any sort of questions in your mind about the reading that you had, just keep that in your head as I'm shuffling, and I will hopefully get you some additional clarification. And if you enjoyed this, guys, please hit the like button. It definitely helps me out. And feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you stick around for next month's reading. If you are into astrology, the tarotscope for Scorpio just was put up last week, so go ahead and check that out. The two of these readings can really fold together to get you something a bit more specific. So let's see what we have. Wow. So the card that we pulled today, guys, in your last little bit of wisdom here is actually the Shaman card. So ancient healing wisdom. And the message behind this, guys, is to pay attention to those around you that are wiser than you, as well as the universe. Someone who's there to help you work through things and give you some of that healing wisdom. It could be a person, or if you are a real spiritual person, it might be the universe around you. It could even be that shaman who's kind of living inside of you right now, and it could be very internal. So this has the opportunity to be a strong healing month. How can you take that energy and incorporate that into your life? So that's it for today's reading, guys. If it resonated with you, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm looking forward to seeing you stop by next time. And as I mentioned before, it is a more general reading for the collective. If you want something more specific, please reach out. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.